go.
Uh-oh. Daryl Ayers already playfully flipping the Delver.
All right, there we go. Turn 1, Delver of Secrets. This card's been good enough. You haven't seen a game where it hasn't been on turn 1. It is the card in the matchup.
I mean, it's a pretty good turn 1.
Caleb, preordained, scries to the bottom. Back over to Daryl. Does not get a transform, but he does swing in Caleb to 19.
There's even a point where when you play against someone like Caleb where you know what deck he's on, you're more likely to just mulligan a slower hand to try and find your Delver of Secrets.
Preordained from Daryl is 1 and 1, and he wastes away Caleb's play. Chris Daryl with the Wasteland, you mentioned there. Traditionally a lands player in Legacy, so you know when you get a card like Wasteland, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh yeah, snowy.
Thought Seize from Caleb. We'll get a look at Daryl's hand. Daze, Ponder, True Name Nemesis, Brainstorm, and
Lightning
then,
Bolt?
is it Lightning Bolt?
I believe
think,
it's
yeah, it's
Lightning
Lightning
Bolt.
Bolt. Takes the Brainstorm. Now, Daryl didn't daze there. What do you think about that?
So a lot of it is just that he would rather try to tag things that are going to kill him rather than things that are just going to disrupt him. He assumed that, like, basically you're choosing the card that the Thoughtseize would take.
Yeah.
And if you don't want Thoughtseize to take your daze, then don't daze it.
Yeah, and I guess you'd have to pick up a land. So
exactly.
He does transform off a second daze. Caleb going to Thoughtseize again. True Name Nemesis, 2 dazes and a bolt. Now Caleb will take one of the 2 dazes and goes to 11. That's not free.
No. That changes the clock pretty significantly. That's an entire turn.
Yeah, down to 8. He goes on the attack. Daryl, keeping cards on top, likes what he sees and chips back. Caleb has 2 turns to do something. Here is Cabal Ritual. It's dazed. We're back to Ayers. Swings down to 5. Now remember, they both know about the Lightning Bolt. What Caleb didn't know was the second Lightning Bolt. Daryl found that one, and that's going to be game 1.
Love a Lava Spike.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
a Lava Spike.
And that's what it is in this matchup.
You got your blue lava spikes, you got your red lava spikes, you got your lightning lava spikes.
They're all lava spikes.
I'm gonna
Spoken like maybe you played Is It Delver sometimes.
Oh, I've sometimes they concede when they're not dead. On camera, who knows?
That's wild. I can't imagine that would ever happen.
Look, all I know is Bubba Gump is to shrimp as I am to lava spikes. You got all kinds of things. You got your fried lava spikes. You got your baked lava spike sandwiches.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
Are they? They're an acquired taste.
What's your favorite lava spike?
My favorite
functional
lava
spike? Yeah.
Honestly, probably just lightning bolt because I'm boring, but really like chain lightning.
I like Alms of the Vein. You got work for it.
Oh, jeez.
But it's plus, right? You get the life gain on it too. You get rewarded.
That's a lightning helix, not a lava spike.
No, it still counts. That counts as a lava spike.
Okay, I didn't know you were the authority on lava spikes, Matthias.
Yeah, I'm calling it a lava spike.
I thought you were the Primeval Titan guy, and I got to do the lava spikes, but sure, yeah. Let's just do this.
Thoughtseize takes care of Force of Will out of Daryl's hand. No turn 1 Delver. So this is going to be a different kind of game than what we've seen in our previous ones in the matchup. No early pressure. Daryl with a lot of defense. Caleb will just... When you see this game, what I like from the Storm side is rather than these other games we've seen where they're playing from behind, is Caleb will start prioritizing things like land drops, like cantrips.
Exactly. This is a spot where all of a sudden, in the matchup in general, the onus of action is going to be on the Delver player.
Right.
So Ayers not having any kind of pressure, this is a bad spot for Ayers to be.
He does Brainstorm here. Has a fetch land up. Yeah, it looks like he may have found a young Pyromancer, so that's going to be some kind of pressure. Certainly found a Delver.
Right, and the games that you see Storm win are the ones where they just get to try to combo at their leisure, and the ones that they lose are the ones where they're forced to jam their rituals into all of this soft permission.
Here's Delver from Daryl and a Wasteland. Now, that card on top of his deck he actually knows about. It's the second card he put back with Brainstorm. I'm interested to see whether he's fetching here or whether he actually has set up long-term this Delver to transform.
It's hard to say. It depends if it's actually going to change the clock or not. And with Scherer at 18, the answer is yes. So I would imagine that he would reveal a card, even if he doesn't want it, and then shuffle it away. But if the card isn't an instant or sorcery, this is basically giving you a free look.
Yeah, and it looks like that second card he put back from the Brainstorm wasn't. He's fetching before the upkeep.
Right.
Maybe an extra land, something like that. You really don't want too many lands on the Grixis side in this matchup.
Instep Brainstorm, though, is pretty nice.
All right, yeah, that means the Delver's going to transform.
Exactly. This is a spot where Scherer gets a little bit of information, but comes at a cost.
Now, what do you feel, a spell snare on Daryl's side, what do you feel's going on Caleb's side? All he's cast is 3 Ponders this game. We haven't really had a look at his hand at all.
It looks like he might be a little Ritual light at the moment.
Yeah, he tries to brainstorm something better. Daryl Pyroblasts and hits again. Caleb gonna fetch. He does have Diabolic Edict, so I guess he could just go for defense or try to remove the Insectile Aberration and move on from there. It's going to be Dark Ritual from Scherer. Spell 1. Does Daryl fight?
Is that just 5 blue cards in Daryl's hand?
So Duress is spell 2 from Caleb, 2 black mana floating. Sees 3 Dazes, a Force of Will, a Spell Snare, and a Dark Confidant. That's pretty hard to get through. I don't...
That is going to get a yikes from me.
I'm going to do that again. I don't know. All right, he takes the Force of Will.
That's the only one that's always going to be a counter spell.
The third Daze doesn't do much here. There's only 2 lands.
Well, you can tap 2 and cast it.
Oh, you can cast it. All right, here is Cabal Ritual with Threshold. Caleb will attempt it. Now, Daryl can daze it twice.
The plan here is likely Scherer is trying to present a juicy enough spell snare target to pave the way for the Infernal Tutor in his hand.
Right, Daryl really, I think, is this a bait spell, and he doesn't take the bait, and there's the Infernal Tutor from Caleb. But this is not a Delirium Infernal Tutor. It does this earn the spell snare. Daryl says yes. Storm to 5. 3 black mana for Caleb. Here's Lion's Eye Diamond. Here's Lion's Eye Diamond. And I think that card is another Infernal Tutor. So with that on the stack, he cracks Lion's Eye Diamond and cracks Lion's Eye Diamond. It's spell 8. He can pay for all the Dazes now. That's not a problem.
So now, even with 2 less mana, he goes down to 5. 6 if you count the Volcanic Island.
And Daryl can't daze, because if Daryl dazes here, then Caleb just gets Tendrils and kills him.
Exactly.
He gets Infernal Tutor, and I love this. He casts that, so now he just gets Tendrils and casts Tendrils. That's lethal, and it doesn't matter. It's all daze proof. That's a really nice round.
Flames?
Really nice line that Caleb chose to take there. We saw a hand of 3 Daze, Spell Snare, Force of Will. Thought that was an impenetrable wall of counter spells, and then Caleb beats it the next turn. Gets thrust all 5 cards.
Right, and the issue there that we saw is that Ayers didn't have that early pressure, and what that's going to translate to in these situations is Scherer just gets more resources to try and win the game.
I love it. I love the spot. 31 to -1. Yeah, they all resolved. Let's count it.
Close game.
The question is if they overstorm, whether those resolve. Because, right, the game's over when they're at -1, but if there's more on the stack, do you keep counting?
No, the game's over.
Yeah, but But they were more
Matthias,
of them there.
We can be subjective about what is and is not a lava spike. We cannot be subjective about the rules. We are arbiters of this tournament.
Both players here, game number 3. Daryl will be back on the play, and he starts with a turn 1 Delver. These games have been good for the Delver player so far. Caleb with Preordained. Not the kind of thing you really fight over even if you have a daze.
Right.
So Caleb will have to make, unlike last game where he got to set up, there's no cantripping into lands this time.
Ooh. There's no instant or sorcery on top either.
No, and that costs Daryl a turn. He actually has no second land, but he makes a second Delver.
How much you want to bet that he drew the Delver that turn?
Of course.
So it wasn't an instant sorcery and wasn't a land.
So it's a creature. Brainstorm from Caleb. You have to watch out about how fast Delver turns these around. When those transform, it'll be 6 damage, and Daryl likely has some number of Lightning Bolts still in the deck.
And Scherer having to fetch here does change the clock to a different multiple of 6.
Yeah, going down to 18, it was not free. We'll see what spell Caleb's doing it for. It's preordained. I mean, maybe he's thinking that with how this game's going to play out, he's going to crack that fetch land at some point anyway, and if that's true, you might as well do it now.
Exactly. It just gives you access to that mana in earlier phases of the game.
Duress Dark Ritual from Caleb. It looks like he wants the Dark Ritual, but puts Duress on the bottom. Daryl will brainstorm on upkeep. He really wants that transform.
Did he brick on a land?
Uh-oh. Let's see. Top card is Force of Will. Transforms. But yeah, he swings in for 6. Caleb to 12. And he did brick on the land, so they both know about a Force of Will. Caleb's going to have to beat that. And I think it's 2 Force of Wills. And that actually might be enough even without the land.
Yeah, that's a very big deal. That's just 2 of Caleb's most important spells done for.
I'm checking to see if there's Cabal Therapy in Caleb's list. That would be what he'd want to do here. And it looks like he's on 4 Duress, no Therapy. So that's going to eat 2 cards.
Ooh.
Normally you see about 2 therapies or something in this list.
Right, and at this point the best thing for Scherer would likely just be naturally drawing the tendrils and having a handful of rituals.
So he'll have to just slog his way through these Force of Wills. And Caleb has 2 turns to do it. This is turn 1. He'll take a hit next turn, and then he'll get 1 more try to combo.
And it's uncomfortable here because he's a little bit choked on black mana.
Right.
And if he gives Ayers another untap step, Ayers gets to Spell Pierce, Spell Snare.
What a duress. So, Force of Will, 3 blue cards. Can't turn those off.
Ugh.
And then the Delver doesn't matter. So the other cards are Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, and Pyroblast. So he'll take a Force of Will, and next turn he has to combo through Force of Will plus another counterspell.
Right.
The counterspell, Pierce, Snare, Pyroblast, could be any.
Right, and the awkward thing here is with Scherer only having 1 source of black mana, it's much harder for him to duress and then do anything. And if he leads on a Dark Ritual, that might just get force it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not easy. I mean, he knows what he's up against. And because Daryl brainstorm locked last turn, I think it's fair to say that there's likely not anything big coming down the pipe.
Exactly. At this point, you can basically know what cards it is that you have to beat, and now it's on Scherer to figure out how to thread that needle.
Swings in Caleb down to 5. Yeah, the cards are Young Pyromancer, no help. But this is the last turn for Caleb. Can he combo? Starts with Lotus Petal and Dark Ritual. Does that earn the Force of Will? It does not. And Caleb moving quick. Storm is at 2. He sees an opening.
They're moving quick because it's sped up, Matthias.
No. This is live. No, it's not. But Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual. Will Daryl force here? He does not.
He also
could
has
snare.
A spell snare.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised he didn't. At this point, I guess he's holding the snare now specifically for Infernal Tutor. That's what he's saying?
Right.
Dark Petition. That's got to earn the Force of Will,
That is not technically a 2-drop, but it's kind of a 2-drop.
Yeah, it nets 2 mana. Daryl Force of Wills it. And that's a huge mana loss for Caleb. He paid 5 for that.
Reasonable Storm count at this point.
Now, Caleb has Lion's Eye Diamond to spell 6. Lion's Eye Diamond to spell 7. I think Past in Flames is his last card. And he got the Force of Will out of Daryl's hand. So Daryl's cold here.
Oh, my gosh.
Cast Past in Flames. Yeah, this is going to work.
What a world.
I think. I mean, there's a way, right? What does he have in the graveyard?
Dark Petition.
Okay, that'll... Well, there's a Spell Pierce, though. Hold on. You can't Dark Petition yet.
No. I'm just saying that there's a payoff card that Daryl can't without all the rituals in the hand.
Here's a Duress. He'll take the Spell Pierce. Spell Snare.
It lets him resolve Cabal Ritual, which lets him just go.
I'll allow it. Here's Dark Ritual. Spell 10. Caleb up to 7. Cabal Ritual. Caleb up to 10 mana. Dark Petition. That's going to find Tendrils. That's going to find the win. Caleb Scherer, use your Storm token. He storms off.